Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to the Oracle of the Light channel, where we shine some light and get some insight on what's going on around the world. My name's SP Psychic Medium. Nice to see you all today. So, there is so much going on. It's lovely to see you all again, and welcome to all watching around the world. We're going to start off this program looking at Trump at his Qatar visit. Of course, we have to start off with the plane there. Of course, obviously, Qatar has alleged links to Hamas and terrorism, of course, and then there's Trump there accepting this gift of a £400 million palace in the sky, which is just crazy. I'm actually the article I'm also going to be referring to, by the way, is from the BBC, which already suggests that maybe in Trump's eyes he believes that his trip's gone really, really well. I'm sure he'll come back spouting about all these different deals that he's made and everything like that. But what we have to also remember is the other things that number one, who he's making it with as well, who he's making these deals with, but also about the this whole plane deal and everything like that. And considering this article from the BBC is entitled "Trump's Critics and Supporters Unite Against Qatar Plane Deal," so already. I think in other people's eyes, there's definitely not a favourable. It's not come down very favourably with lots of people, I think. And the reason for that, you have to remember that it's a huge national risk and security risk when you consider that the president of the United States wants to travel around, and the future presidents on the United States wants to travel around on this plane that could potentially be bugged with microphones, bugged with the latest technology so they can monitor what's going on, what is discussed. Because obviously on that plane, they discuss a lot of top secret information. And it's like, it's more like a like office in the sky almost, if you like. And so there's lots of things that are discussed there that need to remain private. And so what that will mean is to make that secure, they're going to need to take apart the plane literally, so they can inspect every bit of it. Of course, can you imagine the cost of that as well? Can you remember that? That's just like, it's just crazy, Then, of course, you have to remember the other thing too as well, which is, of course, not only is this is that aspect of who he's doing the deals with. Remember, this country in Qatar is against the AI, against homosexuality, against women and things like this, and of course, Felon 45 Trump, that completely plays to his playbook, of the fascist playbook, so you can see why maybe Trump actually gets along with these people. But we have to remember that this is very, very dangerous. And you don't know as well what other underlying deals may be there. You have to remember that everything that Trump has his finger in, he's going to be benefiting out of it somewhere, the tariffs, for example, he was selling and buying shares and things like this, and there were shares, maybe not him, but enough, definitely his companies were allegedly involved in selling and moving of assets and things like this, so that he can oil his earnings and everything like that, and it's just, you always have to look with a lot of Felon 45 and Trump is who's earning the money, where's the money going, So let me just go down this this article a little bit more there. First of all, I think they know Trump. Qatar knows Trump in the fact that they know that they can control anything that he does by just dangling some money in front of his eyes, and I know that he's already talking about now also remodeling the White House as well. Well, now that won't be a remodel, it'll probably be a rebuild, and it'll look, I bet, very similar to the Qatar. The gold everywhere and things like this. You can see that, but that isn't what the White House should be, you see. The White House shouldn't be a palace. It's a home of the Constitution, because that's what we also have to remember here. The other big thing about this is that it's unconstitutional. It's against the Constitution to accept gifts from heads of state, from royal families. It's against the Constitution. And the reason why that is for corruption. It's to protect the corruption. And but of course, when I find myself talking about these things, we mustn't forget that we have Pete Hegseth, who's broken loads of high security things, and it's just, he's almost like just another one to add into the pot. It seems like to me, as if like buying, being given this plane isn't bad enough, then it just goes in line with what Pete Hegseth did with dropping people into high security group chats, And also we have to remember too that not only is Trump being gifted this plane for, actually it's wrong to say for future presidents, because actually part of it that's written into it is he's going to take it with him when he leaves. So it's like this 400 million pound plane is going to be taken with Felon 45 Trump when he leaves, if ever he leaves. But I think that it just has become such a, almost like a big political, what would you call it? A big political game piece and element, alongside the links with Hamas, the alleged links with Hamas and terrorism stuff. But this should be no surprise to people that do know Trump, because he has no values and no heart, no thought. He's just void. Sorry? He's all transactional, yeah. So, and they've obviously tempted him into this thing with this plane. But I just really wanted to see what the cards say, because the question today, everyone, I should say as well, also, by the way, today's reading and program is all for entertainment purposes only. As you all watch the show will know about that. So yes, what are we going to ask today? Then I hear you asking. I can hear you asking out there. What are we going to ask the cards today? And we're going to ask, how has Trump's trip to Qatar really gone? Okay, let me just put an S on there, because of course he's going to spout about this deal that he's done and these planes that he's got and everything like that. But how has it really gone? And I'm talking about in terms of following the line of good government, of following the line of how people really feel about the deal. That's what I more mean about this. He may say it's a good deal. Well, of course he's going to say that. He's getting a 400 million pound plane out of it. He's not going to say it's a bad deal, is he? So what we're going to look at in the cards is what is it really? What's really going on here? Let the cards shine a bit of light on this for us. So let's get the cards. Speaking of cards, let's get the cards out. The Cosmic Tarot. Let's get these out. And then I'm also going to use the Oracle of the Light cards as well to shine some light on it even more. That's the deck that me and Francesco designed. It's available. So I've got the Cosmic Tarot cards here. Just going to give them a shuffle. I hope you're all enjoying my videos, by the way, everybody. I do try and make a couple a week if I can, or more. It just depends on what's going on, but I try and keep them coming for you there. I do hope you're enjoying them. So I'm trying to make my way to 500 subscribers. It's slowly getting there. So looking for forward to the time we reach 5,000 or 500,000. That'd be awesome. So let's get some cards in. So the question, how has Trump's trip to Qatar really gone? Come on, cards. Show us how it's really gone. I'm going to get 6 cards out. I'm just trying to get 6 cards out for this. I do also read reversed as well. I can just find it opens it up a little bit more. So need to just finish shuffling. I'm a good old shuffle. Getting a shuffle on. So here we go. How has Trump's trip really gone? So we have the 3 of Wands right way up, the Tower upside down, the 7 of Swords upside down, the Queen of Swords, 8 of Swords, and the 5 of Cups. Now, I should also say as well, I forgot to mention it when I was talking about things earlier, but of course, Trump has also got impeachment things going on, hasn't he? He's just had an article of impeachment raised against him, and that is now going to go to the vote. So there's also that in the picture too. And that is important because this plane and everything may impact on how soon people actually get that vote in, you know. So yeah, I would hope they vote from the beginning, but let's just wait and see on that. You know, maybe I need to do another reading about that. But let's start with this. So, how has Trump's trip to Qatar really gone? Okay, so I think first of all, I think what this card represents is it feels like in this card, this is almost like Trump's really wanted to play the part when he's been over there. He's really wanted to. I think he really sees the wealth because in Qatar that is very much a culture of showing off your wealth, almost like grossly. Almost, it's almost like obscene. Almost how they drive around in gold Mercedes and gold Rolls Royces and you know and have gold covered buildings and things like this. So I think this is to do with Trump really wants to kind of be like them. I think he's almost like, I feel this card is almost a card of him almost like wanting to kind of be them in a way, you know. And I just get this sense of him trying to dance between these people, and there must be a connection between three key people that he's met over there, or three key either places or three significant things on his trip. There's something to do with three connected to his trip. But yeah, there's some connection to like either three people that he's met that are of high importance, or there's something connection to three, could be deals, or there's something to do with that. And I'm not quite sure what it is. But there's something about that. He's been dancing between them, you know. Look at me. You're really good. You are. You're really like sucking up to them, basically. You know, that's what I get from this card. Really sucking up to them. Look at me. Look, I can be just like you. Oh, I agree with all that. You know, all of this stuff. You know, so I'm not surprised if he'll be like this soft. Oh, like a lot of nodding and yes, and a lot of yeses and stuff like that. You know, like a nodding dog. You know. But what the interesting thing is that how has his trip really gone? This is how it's really gone. So he's kind of there in his little dream with, oh, yes, it's wonderful. I do like that gold thing over there. And isn't it great to have 7 Rolls Royces? And I should get 7 Rolls Royces. Do you know what I mean? All of this stuff. But in fact, he doesn't realize that actually this is obviously going to be part of bringing his kingdom down, I feel. This card is very much a sign of this trip is going to be linked to part of his demise, you know. It's going to be linked to part of that because this tower, as if it's not bad enough the right way up, you know, this card the right way up is a sign of like things collapsing and falling, new, you know. But this to me is things failing, not just collapsing, things failing, and so he may well have struck this deal, but I just get a sense of this. I don't think it's watertight. I don't think there's something in it. There must be something in this. Well, obviously, there's the corruption of him taking the gift. Whether or not they'll actually even make him reverse that, and then that will even actually affect the whole deal coming off. It could even be that, you know, how it's just going to crumble away, you know. Something about it might very well crumble away, you know. Of course, this reading is for right now. Things can always change. We have to remember that with these readings. But right now, I'm getting a big sense of things crumbling. Now, that is made even amplified even more by this card upside down. Now, I think this is to do with the knowledge that he shouldn't really accept it, but the lack of care for even being bothered. He doesn't even care enough to even look them in the face, the people that he's hurt. So this is the card that this way up. These are the people that he's hurt by doing this deal. And those people are all the people that have also been hurt by the Qatar regime, don't forget, and the Trump regime. Because if he's accepting this, like you could call it almost like a bribe from this country, he's playing into their hands and also legitimizing their regime too. And so that's legitimizing all that hurt that they've created, as well as legitimizing all the corruption that he's also doing. And of course, the reason why it's upside down means it's like even worse, it's wrong. It's bad things that he's been doing, not just unintentionally wrong, because some people make mistakes sometimes unintentionally. They don't do it purposely. It does create hurt, but it's not done purposely. But this is done purposely. I think he actually knows he shouldn't be taking the plane, but doesn't care. He doesn't think he's a president. He thinks of himself more as a king, So also the Queen of Swords. Now this is quite interesting. I think this could well be Melania or someone like that, because I feel this is to do with keeping a distance. She's keeping a distance, but she's also watching the money roll in. She's thinking, I could get half of that plane as well. That half of that plane could be mine. There's definitely a sense of like, and she's not worried about that. She knows she's hurting a lot of people close to her, but doesn't really care. Doesn't really care at all. I do think this is also to do with the isolation of Melania again. She might so how is the deal really going? How is the Qatar deal really going? If anything, it's pulling him more away from Melania, I feel, in the sense of, I just get this sense of like more distance in between them, and also this is amplified by this card here, the how they're not seeing eye to eye, But I feel as well that also is represented in this card is all those swords, and that represents the people of the US that this sort of deal is hurting. So I do feel that this deal is going to hurt the US. There's going to be something in it that must hurt the US. There's something about, I think it's number one, we can always say this corruption about not accepting the deal, but it might even be to do with the deal actually crumbling and ended up with nothing as well, Also, you have to remember as well that by the time these planes actually arrive, will felon 45 Trump even still be alive when they'll get it? So I think there could be kind of an interesting thing here. And I think this is why this reading goes a bit dark, because I feel there's a sense of, I think this is a sense of him being aware that he may well on paper have seemed to strike this deal, but whether or not he'll be actually around to see it actually come off, and will it even come off in the first place? Certainly not feeling a lot of love. You can see those cups spilling over, and falling over. There's not a lot of love around, not a lot at all, and also there's this like disappointment. So will he even be around to receive his palace in the sky? This is another, will he be around to receive these planes that he made the deal for? Will he even be allowed to have it? And I think that this is what this might be to do with. I think he must have heard these talk of like, people's, like for example, this headline on the BBC is that the article by Mike Wendling is Trump's critics and supporters unite against the Qatar plane deal. So I think there's a lot of, he almost like thinks that this could have been one thing that it looks like he's done, and it turns out that people aren't very pleased. And I think it looks like a disappointment, but I think it's more in the fact that he's worried about not getting his plane. I don't think it's a disappointment in the deal not coming off. It's a worry for him not getting his plane. Remember, it's all transactional. It's all about how can he benefit. Okay. Really, really interesting. So I want some more insight on this. So we'll get some Oracle of the Light cards, and we'll see what they have to say about this too. So, how has Trump's Qatar trip really gone? Let's just shuffle these a minute. I'll just take that off. Just give it a shuffle. Okay, then. So I think as well, this card is also that the fact is impeachment is around. And I think he's afraid that that might stop him getting his plane too, might stop him getting his palace and stuff, you know. There's definitely, there's things around nibbling at him, if you like, you know. I think the only time he'll sort of show that is when he rage tweets, probably, you know, on that live social, whatever you call it, you know, of his, you know. So let's see what these cards say. How has Trump's trip to Qatar really gone? Let's see. Mark up. Okay, let's have a look. Upside down, heart of wisdom and creative courage. So I'm going to get one more card as well. I feel I want to get one. So first of all, the upside down heart of wisdom. This has not been very wise to take the plane, you know, and this has been a wrong decision to take the plane. It's very unwise. He's made the wrong move with his. He always talks about his hand of cards, doesn't he? Interesting. And this looks like a card, interestingly. Well, he's played his cards wrong. That's what the message is from here. And I feel that this is representing the impeachment, but also the growing courage and forthrightness, you could say, of people now standing up to Trump. And this is an ever-growing presence that is growing greater and greater and greater, you know. And so he's played the wrong move at almost just the wrong time as well. You know, I mean, accepting a plane at the same time almost as being impeached, you can't get worse timing, really, you know. And I want to get one more card too as well. The nectar of life. So I feel what this represents is, so the cups represents love, but in terms of how is his deal really gone? Now, interestingly, I feel that, you know, some people say, oh, the cup's half full, and some people say the cup's half empty. I feel that like the cup's empty for Trump. That's what I feel. I feel the cup is empty for Trump, and it feels like he's running out of that liquid in his cup, you know, like the liquid could be seen as that like ability to keep going, just keep going, you know, because that's what I think he's done for many, many years. He's just kept going, and he's tried and played the law and everything to his advantage to delay, to keep going, delay. And it's like, there's only so long you're going to be able to delay, you know, because let's face it, believe it or not, him being president is just a delay to actual justice being served, you know, because if he hadn't become president, he would have been probably in prison by now, which means that his whole presidency from the word go is a delay to actually justice being served. Because not only does the justice have to be served for his presidency that is served now, but what about the justice for all those things that happened in his previous one? You know, all of the papers, all of the missing boxes of papers and everything. There's so much stuff that justice still needs to be served upon, you know. And I think that's what this is representative of, you know. But of course, Trump can only see the gold cup, which is why this has come out. Trump can only see the gold cup. He can't see that it's actually empty. You see? So he's in a big delusion. He definitely is in a big delusion, you know. It's very, very dangerous. So just to summarize then, so what we have Trump playing the part. Look at me. I'm just like you. I'd love a palace like yours. Oh, yeah. Aren't you great? Aren't you great? Excellent. But when in fact his kingdom is crumbling in front of his very eyes, and it's all going pear-shaped. But he's in denial of that, creating harm to lots of people around him, really causes so much harm, and with bad intentions. That's why it's upside down. But Melania doesn't care. She's just raking in the money. She's just again, grifting off that and getting a lot of money in her bank account, even though she doesn't see eye to him, and she's not really bothered about the harm that's created around her either. Okay, but now there's this. It feels like now there is this impeachment on the horizon. It feels like now things are starting to get closer and closer in, until we realize that he's gone and really, really, really made a big boo-boo and played his cards wrong at the wrong time. And of course, people are now having the courage to stand up. And funnily enough, similar time as this whole like taking the plane, the impeachment has come up as well. Okay, the beginning of that process. Okay, and then but Trump can still only see as far as the gold. You can only see the golden cup, but he can't see that liquid in the cup's getting less and less and less and less, and it will evaporate. It will evaporate eventually, And so I'm going to leave that with love and light. I really hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. We've come to the end now, I'm afraid. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe below. I do really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit that 500 subscribers. So thanks very much, everybody. With lots of love and light from the Oracle of the Light, I will see you all really soon. Take care, everyone.